Good morning, dear children. Welcome back to English session. Today we are going to understand a very interesting topic of MCB chapter 7, Around the World in 80 Days, written by a French writer, Jules Verne, who wrote novels, plays, poems, and was highly popular during his lifetime. He is best known for writing the novels, that is, Around the World in 80 Days, Journey to the Center of the Earth, and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Verne is often considered one of the founders of fiction and remains of this day one of the most translated literary authors in the world. The following story is the excerpt from famous adventure novel Around the World in 80 Days. Students, since this chapter is only a part of the novel, that will surely leave you in a suspense. But don't worry, I will summarize the entire novel to make this session interesting for you all. Okay? Let's cover first the major character of the novel. Number 1. Phileas Fogg is a ruthless perfectionist who cares more about the bit than the exotic places he seems on his travel. He will do anything, even lie and cheat to get what he wants. The second character is Jean Passepartout, is a Fogg's French butler. He is an honest, charming man who truly cares about Fogg. Now let's come to the story. Mr. Phileas Fogg is a wealthy man living in London. He has a very uninteresting social life aside from being a member of Reform Club, a private London society for gentlemen. He does not have a wife or children. He speaks very often about the world, seeming to know so much of it, so people assume he has traveled. However, most are fairly certain that he has not left London for many years. Mr. Fogg spends nearly all day, every day at the Reform Clubhouse and has a single servant who attends to him at home. He has recently dismissed one of these servants and now instead is served by a Frenchman from Paris named Jean Passepartout. Passepartout is looking forward to his new job but is somewhat worried about his master, surprised by how serious, exact, and deliberate he is in all aspects of his life. Passepartout himself is lively and proud, so it would be interesting to see how his personality meshes with Mr. Fogg. Nevertheless, he thinks he and his master shall get along and is excited to begin his work. On Passepartout's very first day on the job, Mr. Fogg goes to the Reform Club at 11:30 in the morning, as he always does. He eats breakfast there and begins to talk to the other club members, notably a man named Ralph. They discuss a robbery that has occurred at the Bank of England, who stole £55,000. The Daily Telegraph newspaper says that the thief was a gentleman and likely did not belong to a professional band of robbers. They wonder how far the thief could have gotten, and someone remarks that the world is such a big place that he could have gone anywhere. Mr. Fogg says that the world has become smaller. The Ralph agrees, saying that you can get around the entire world much more quickly than you ever could before. Mr. Fogg says you can get around it in 80 days now, and one of the other club members confirms, referring to an estate made by the Daily Telegraph now that the final section of railway across the Indian continent has been finished. The men remarked that the 80 days estimate does not account for weather, shipwrecks, railway accidents, or any other incident that could delay a person. Mr. Fogg disagrees and says that these are all included. Stuart, one of the club members, says he would like to see Mr. Fogg do it in 80 days. It becomes a wager. Mr. Fogg bets £20,000 that he can make it around the world in 80 days or less. The club members cannot believe that he would make such a serious bet, but sure he will fail and they will win £20,000. They agree to it. Mr. Fogg plans to leave that night. Now Mr. Fogg returns home to tell Passepartout that the two of them will going around the world. Passepartout is astonished and also does not think they can make it in 80 days, but is enticed by the prospect of the adventure all the same. They pack all carpet bags, planning to buy clothing as they go. As they leave, though Passepartout realizes he left the gas heater burning in the room, he cannot delay his master by going back to turn it off. So, when they return from their voyage, the money spent from burning it for so long would be deducted from Passepartout's salary. The news of Mr. Fogg's departure spreads rapidly throughout the London, and all of the newspapers cover it. People make their own bets on whether or not he will succeed. Suddenly, though the police commissioner in London receives a telegram accusing Phileas Fogg of being the man who robbed the Bank of England, it seems to make a sense due to Phileas Fogg's solitary nature and his hurry to leave England and go across the world. The commissioner believes it must have been to elude detectives. So students, this is all in the story. I hope you must have enjoyed. Okay, now students, you are once again reminded to do all the work sent along with this video in your fair notebooks. Meet you soon with another interesting topic. Till then, do take care of yourselves. Goodbye for now.